President, we have a problem in our Air National Guard right now. This body knows full well where I've been on vaccine mandates coming down for the president. I've adamantly opposed the vaccine mandates on private sector employees, which I find absurd that the president is announcing to every company with 100 people or more, I'm going to take over the contracts for employment in your company. And no matter how long that employee's been there, how valuable they are to the company, you need to fire them if they don't follow the vaccine mandate. That is not the right of a president. It has formed chaos in our federal workers. It has formed chaos in our contractors for federal employees. Now, let me tell you what's happening in the National Guard right now. Tuesday of this week, November the 30th, Secretary of Defense sent out a letter saying that by today, December the 2nd, every person in the National Guard had to be vaccinated or they would no longer be paid. Now, that applied to the Air National Guard as of today, but to the Army National Guard, that doesn't apply until June the 30th. Let me run this past this body again. If you're in the Air National Guard and you're not vaccinated by today, you won't be paid anymore. You also can't show up at drill this weekend. You can't go into any training at all as of this weekend. But if you're in the Army National Guard, you have until June the 30th to be able to fulfill this mandate. Now, I've been clear, I'm adamantly opposed to the mandate, period. But to then make it unequal between the Air National Guard and the Army National Guard is even worse. And on top of all of that, what the administration did as of this week, they sent out information for the Air National Guard members, and I assume for the Army National Guard starting in June, that this is going to be a different process. Title 32 is the authority for the National Guard. Now, for folks that aren't following this, though the folks in this body do, some people get confused between the reserves and the Guard. They're not the same. The reserves are like active duty. The Guard actually work for the governor of each state. Each state has accountability for the Guard members, and there's a responsibility to make sure they're trained and ready and equipped for federal service if they're called up for federal service. But when they're under what's called Title 32 authority, they work for the governor of the state. If a unit is not prepared, the state is punished for their lack of preparation. So funds can be taken away from the state, but not going down to individual members of the Guard. What did the Pentagon do this week? The Pentagon this week announced that not only are they not going to pay individual members, but they're literally reaching down into a unit, identifying members that have not received the vaccine, and they're not going to pay that person. There is no authority in law for the Pentagon to do that. In fact, that issue was debated in this body several years ago, and this body voted no on that. The Pentagon does not have the authority to reach into the governor's National Guard and determine who will be paid and who will not be paid in the National Guard. But that's exactly what the president is trying to do and what the Pentagon is trying to do. Why is this a big issue? Because the Air National Guard, as of tomorrow, that are not vaccinated will not be paid. And this weekend, they cannot go to drill. Why is that a big issue? Many of the folks in the Air National Guard that are not vaccinated are the pilots. Listen, if we're going to talk about military readiness, I understand the differences of opinion here in the vaccine mandates. And some people have no issue with the vaccine mandates. I do. But we should all agree on military readiness. We should all agree on following the law and not allowing the Pentagon and the president to deliberately violate the law that we wrote and the president has signed in violating Title 32. Last night, I was on this very same floor at this very same desk asking for amendment on the NDAA. Today, I understand I'm not getting that amendment on the NDAA. I've taken that same amendment and I've moved it into language that we can use as a standalone bill. This is a very simple, straightforward, no issues, no ancillary anything on the bill. It simply says that we cannot allow the administration or a Pentagon, any one of them, to violate the law, to be able to reach into a National Guard unit and identify individual members and not pay them. That's already the law. We're just affirming the law that already is. And the second thing is not allowing them to be able to cut off pay based on their vaccination status in the National Guard when they're in Title 32 status. That means they're working for the governor of that state. They've not been activated to federal duty. This is a big issue, and it's a big issue right now because the Air National Guard members and many of our pilots are about to stop training right now. And in the days ahead for the Army National Guard, I remind this body of a number that most of us know. Only 40% of our Guard members are vaccinated, meaning 60% are not. Are we really ready to lose that much readiness over this issue? I would hope not. So as if in legislative session, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to immediate consideration of calendar number 174 S3299. I further ask that the bill be considered read a third time and passed, and that the motion to reconsider be considered made, laid upon the table.